First thing you're going to want to do is power on all your machines with your extruder, your chiller, and your tank. Run down over here. Also power on your ultrasonic, your OD gauge, and your puller. Once that has been done, you're going to want to turn on your puller, select your desired recipe, and turn on your H2O pump. Now you're going to want to set your temperatures to the right specifications for your recipe. And once your specs have been met, you're going to want to load your hopper with your material, and start your extruder, and adjust your speed to the right specifications. Once material has been flowing out of the die, you want to check for foreign material and set your concentricity. Once your concentricity has been met and foreign material is no longer present, you're going to want to feed it through your sizing plate, under your rollers, through your ultrasonic, through the air wiper, and through the OD gauge, and finally into the puller. Once that has been done, you're going to want to close the tank, turn on your vac pump, and adjust the sizing by advancing the tank about half an inch away from the die, and then finally turn on your water ring about 1/4 to half an inch of a turn. You're going to come over here to adjust your tubing to the right specifications. You're going to want to use a combination of your puller speed, your extruder, and your tank gap. Once that has been done and specifications have been met, you're going to want to check your ID of your material with a pin gauge. Once the pin gauge has verified the right ID, you're going to want to spool it with your winder. So first you're going to want to start off by powering on your machines for your expanding process, including your first puller, your preheat, your heat, your OD gauge, your second puller, and your cutter. Then you're going to actually install your spool of tubing with your hypo. And then on this other side, you're going to connect your tubing and the hypo together with a piece of monowire. Then you're going to want to plug in your nitrogen tank. And then now you're going to actually feed your tubing through all of your expanding stations, all the way down to the second puller, but not to the cutter quite yet. After that's been done, you're going to turn on your rinse tank and your glycerin and let that run for about 15 minutes. After that's been done and your temperatures have reached your required temperatures, you're going to start both of your pullers and clamp it down to your tubing. Then you're going to connect your actual tubing to the cutter and then turn on the actual nitrogen. After that's been done, you'll see a slack of tubing between your first puller and the inlets of the expander. Now for the sizing of your tubing, once the correct size and OD have been reached, you'll start to see that slack straighten out. If that slack does not straighten out, then you would have to adjust your parameters, such as your nitrogen and your heat. After that's been done, you're going to come down, take some samples of your product, and double check the measurement with a ruler, and use a pin gauge to check the ID of your finished expanded product. After the expansion process, you're going to take one sample and cut it into 2 pieces of tubing that are 10" in length each. After that's been done, you're going to clamp both of them at the end together with an alligator clip and place it into your oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit minimum for 10 minutes. Once that's been done, you're going to measure your recovery with a pin gauge and your longitudinal growth with a ruler. If your specs aren't met, then requirements and adjustments to your expansion process need to be adjusted.